some serious stuff. Hey everyone, Mark Gullah with RE/MAX Select Realty. We're back with Around Town with MG. Today we're in downtown Monaca at Armezzani Jiu Jitsu Academy. Today we're going to be rolling around with the master himself, Louis Armezzani. And if you know anything about me, you know I love watching the UFC fights. So today I'm going to try to learn some things and get tossed around a little bit. It should be a great episode. Let's go. All right guys, we're inside now with Lou. Lou, thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Love the gym. This is a really cool setup. So before we get started and I get tossed around a little bit, had a couple questions. Like first, how did you get started? Like you're kind of in a unique position here.
So when we moved, my wife and I, we moved from Scranton to Moon Township in 2013. And then when we moved up to Center 6 months later, I noticed that there wasn't anywhere for me to train jiu-jitsu. Because at the time I was a retired professional MMA fighter, brown belt in jiu-jitsu. So I had 12 years under my belt. And there really wasn't anything around that wasn't downtown Pittsburgh. So I said, I'm gonna have to open up my own gym.
Before we started filming, you mentioned you were into construction and your boss was kind of into jiu-jitsu. Did that kind of play a role into it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that started. He was up on the roof of this job and he was yelling down to me and I couldn't hear him. And we kind of like, bickering. And I said, you better be quiet. I'm gonna come up there and choke you like Hoist Gracie. And he stopped and he just looked at me and said, I train at a Hoist Gracie Jiu Jitsu Academy. He said, you should come with me.
You guys were bonded.
And that was it.
It also led to your resignation.
Yeah. Shortly thereafter, correct.
So I mentioned in the intro, I do love the UFC. I try to order every pay-per-view or at least be at a spot that hosts it. Are we pretty much doing the same techniques and everything that they're learning to get into that type of level?
Oh yeah. The same submissions, positional control, takedowns, all that you see in the UFC and MMA on television is the same things that we do here.
So you mentioned you kind of just glossed over the fact that you're a retired MMA fighter. That was news to me. You picked up fast, obviously, and it's something you love. I know you mentioned when your boss was transitioning with going down to you realized basically what I'm trying to say is that you could earn a living by having a gym.
Yeah, it's funny because you go from, framing condos, it's a labor-intensive job. It's not really the most fun thing you can do for work. And then I go to this jiu-jitsu class, and the way my brain works is I'm there and I'm thinking to myself, I just got done with this long construction shift, and now I'm at jiu-jitsu, and I'm thinking, this coach, this instructor, this is what he does for a living.
This is his job.
He has a family, this is his job. And I said, at that point, I was like, I need to do this. I need to open up at some point my own jiu-jitsu academy.
Yeah, that's awesome because it kind of really paints a picture to like, you're doing something you love. Like you enjoy coming to work every day and that's the dream, right?
It is, I'm a big believer that we should be passionate about the things that we're gonna sacrifice our time to do as far as,
About to
work.
Get that tattooed on me, man.
Passion, yeah, so, I'm very blessed, I'm very grateful, and I just try to give back, as much as I can to the martial arts community because I'm in the position that I am in.
That's awesome. Good stuff, man. So I'm a realtor, so I don't know how much training I'll actually get put into play, but you never know. We go to some sketchy areas sometimes, so maybe if we could just learn some of the most basic moves to maybe defend myself.
That's a really common, request from people in the industry. Whenever they have to be into different, areas, places they're not familiar with. So I have a couple things lined up that we're gonna work with you on to make you competent so you can defend yourself in those situations.
Can't wait.
Let's get going.
All right, let's go.
All right, Mark. Well, you're all geared up, ready to go.
Excited.
We're gonna get you on the mat and I'm gonna show you one of the simplest moves that you could use for everyday self-defense.
Let's start simple.
Let's go. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you how to do a rear naked choke.
Okay.
All right. So rear naked chokes happen when I have back control. And what back control is gonna look like is I have my 2 feet inside of my opponent's legs and I have what we call a seatbelt grip with my arms. One arm comes over the shoulder, one arm comes underneath the other armpit.
Does it matter which arm?
It does not matter. It could be this way or this way. Usually,
It's called the seatbelt grip.
yeah, keeps them nice and protected. So from here, I'm using my legs to help control Paul's ability not to move. I'm gonna sneak my arm that's under the chin, not the one under the armpit, my one that's under the chin, I'm gonna crawl my hand all the way back behind his shoulder. And what this does is it lines up my arm perfectly underneath his neck. Now, I take my arm that's under the armpit, take it all the way out, and I'm gonna take this all the way across the back of his neck. My right hand will find my bicep. I go ear to ear and then give Paul a nice little gentle squeeze. Sleeper hold. All right, so one more time. Are you okay, Paul? Paul. All right. So one more time. I'm gonna set my choke arm. I'm gonna remove my arm under the armpit, bring it across the back of the neck, and now I'm gonna let my hand find my bicep, nice and tight, and get a squeeze.
Really isn't doing anything.
It's actually pushing his head into the choke. So this arm's coming this way. My arm on the back of his head is pushing this way. So it's kind of like a catalyst to that choking mechanism.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're gonna have you give that a shot now.
All right.
You're gonna get nice and close. You're gonna get your feet inside. Good.
All right.
And now you're gonna do your seatbelt grip. So one's gonna go over, and then your other arm's gonna come underneath his armpit, and then you're gonna lock your hands up together. Yeah, actually, this. No thumbs. No thumbs. Yeah, it's called a gable grip. Good. Now from here, you're gonna take your left arm, and it's gonna come all the way tight underneath his chin. You can unlock crawl that hand, like Cousin It from the Addams Family, all the way behind his back. Good. Now you're gonna take your right arm out, put it across the back of his head. Good. Now your left hand is gonna find your bicep on your right arm. Get real close to Paul because you care about him and give him a nice squeeze.
You're in control right there.
You're definitely in control there.
That was awesome. Thank you. Time to get into the class. I'll try to keep up, but no guarantees.
No, you're gonna have a good time. We'll take care of it.
All right.
Now switch sides. Good.
Damn, dude. That's some serious stuff. All right, that was an amazing class. Great workout. Something I was thinking about on the way down here is I truly believe the UFC will be a top 3 sport in our country shortly. And as that evolves and happens, I think a lot more people will be interested to learning jiu-jitsu and things. And coming in here, I was a little bit nervous. I know nothing, but Lou's built a great community down here where you feel welcome. There's no pressure, and you learn as you go. So I learned some things today, and not that I know much, but I have a better grasp on things. And you do a great job, Lou. And it's Wednesday, middle of the day. We have a full house here, and people are loving it.
Mark, I'm really happy that you came in today, and you jumped right into class, and we were able to go over the rear naked choke, and you did see firsthand how it's really not as intimidating as we might think from the outside looking in. And once we do get inside, get on the mat with the coaches, that's when the fun starts.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I felt completely comfortable from as soon as you taught me how to walk across the room. I was like, all right, let's go. So, Lou.
Awesome, Mark.
There we go. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.